Peace. What's happening, good people? This gift here for Pay Us No Mind, and this is a review of the digital distributor United Masters. Now, United Masters is a digital distributor that their big attraction is their free tier. So they give people like an easy onboard ramp, right? Where you don't have to pay anything up front. You could just dive in, start using it, and pay a percentage of the revenue that generates from your sales. Now they also have a paid tier, which is Select, and Select costs you $60 a year. So let's go through United Masters and their offer. So United Masters on the free tier, their basic tier, they take 10% of the revenue that you generate. You get to keep 90%, they take 10. Release music in as little as 10 days, distribute one release per month, so you're capped to one release per month. So unlike a Muse that allows you unlimited distribution for free, unlimited master links, that's whatever, okay. Now, when it comes to stores, if you're on a free tier, United Masters will only distribute your music to 4 stores: Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube Music. That's it. So if you're on that free tier, or that tier where you don't pay upfront and instead you're just paying a percentage of your revenue, even though they're taking 10% and they're incentivized to like help you sell, they're restricting the number of sales that you can generate by limiting the amount of stores that you get into. So they want that upfront money. They don't really care about that percentage, you know. So they're restricting you to 4 stores on that free tier. Now, the main draw to United Masters, outside of being able to start with not paying anything up front, would probably be this right here: access exclusive brand deals, the potential to maybe get your music added to the NBA or ESPN or some of these Apple Music top tier playlists or something like that. But it's like a lot of these digital distributors have stuff like this. Like they usually say something like, you know, we'll pitch your music to editorial playlists and things of that nature. And the same shot that artists have and getting their music listed in those places is about the same chance that they got of these things happening, because it's far from a guarantee. You got royalty splits that they offer as well. Now with these royalty splits, if the artist that you're sending money to does not have a select, is not on the select tier where they're paying United Masters $60 a year, then that artist will have to pay 10% of the royalties that you're sending them to United Masters. So United Masters will take 10% of the royalties that you're sending to your collaborators. Now, one good thing United Masters does is eat the transaction fees. So there are no transaction fees, like the fee that you would pay PayPal or whoever have you to collect your money. United Masters takes care of that. You get 100% of your money. You're not losing anything there. The main issue here with United Masters is their terms. Their terms. So United Masters, under their terms of agreement, have the ability to enter your music into exclusive agreements with their partners, meaning that if they enter you into these agreements with some of these partners under exclusive terms, you can't do anything else with your music, right? Without the consent of this third party that they've entered into this exclusive agreement with. So that's one clause that causes other clauses to be really problematic, like the fact that a no isn't a no. So they have guidelines in their terms that state that depending on why you're saying no, it can be a yes, effectively, because they're like, well, if you say no and it's not like Like, you can't say no for financial reasons. Like, if you don't like how much you're getting paid and you say no because you don't like how much you're getting paid, then they can disregard that no and still enter you into that agreement. If they find your reason for saying no is unreasonable, then they can still enter you into that exclusive agreement. So it takes away your agency. You can't just say, I don't want to do this because I don't want to do this, right? It has to be something that United Masters will accept. So that's one issue with their terms. Another issue with their terms is them saying that your failure to respond is a yes. So if they email you and you don't respond to that email in a certain amount of time, then they could take that as a yes and enter you into an exclusive agreement with a third party. And on top of the lack of ability to say no and the unresponsiveness being deemed a yes, they also have a clause in there that states that their failure to seek your consent for any agreement that they sign you into is not a breach of the agreement. So if they just go and do whatever they want with your music without your permission or without seeking your permission, you can't sue them or say that they violated anything because they are within their rights in doing that. And that is what makes United Masters really scary, you know? Now, people can say, hey, what are the odds of them actually doing this or this stuff actually happening, you know? And it's like, I don't know, right? Now, I will say this, I will add this to it. The fact that these things are agreements, and it's a contract, and the contracts get negotiated. A lot of times it just falls on the artist to negotiate. And I have worked with a few artists in that capacity where artists have reached out to me and they said, hey man, take a look at this symphonic agreement. Tell me if you see anything wrong in there. And I say, hey, first, I'm not a lawyer, right? But I'll take a look and I'll tell you what I see. And I reach out and I say, hey man, here's the circle, these areas. This is where I see problems can be. You know, I helped out Heaven X with his agreement with Venice Music, where I looked over that and circled what the problem areas were. And in both instances, the artists reach out to the digital distributor. They say, hey, these things are a problem for me. And the distributor will communicate back and say, hey, we'll take that out. That's been my experience most of the time. When somebody expresses that something is an issue for them, the distributor will respond and just take it out. You know, now sometimes they might try to be slick and remix it and just word it a different way and have it mean the same thing. And if the artist doesn't spot it or whatever have you, or come back to me and have me read it a second time, then they'll just be trapped into the same agreement, right? But the worst they could say is no. So, you know, you look at those terms, you say, hey, I don't like them. You reach out to them, you say, hey, can you change this? And hey, you never know, they might change them, you know? Now, I don't think that these big artists that you see United Masters throw out there that they use to attract smaller artists to the platform, I don't think that those artists agree to those terms. I think those artists have different contracts and agreements with United Masters that are more favorable than the ones that they're giving to everybody else. So that would be my advice to artists that choose to use United Masters, to look over those terms and communicate to them what's an issue for you and try to have it fixed. Now, as always, you guys can reach out to me at Payusnomind on Instagram, at Payusnomind on Twitter, Payusnomind@gmail.com. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Y'all know the drill. This is Gift signing off. Payusnomind. Peace, good people. One.